One of the things that the group CEO needed me to do was to close down a department.
Oh,
The catering department, more specifically. So we had about 15, almost 20 staff
so
in
you
that
got to
department.
fire a whole department.
I had to fire a whole department. His advice to me was to be a leader, you need to not be emotional and just do what you need to do.
Wow, what is this piece?
Wow, got log cake.
Wow.
This is the most important.
Log cake is dessert. We eat the real food first.
Real food first.
Huh?
Ham first.
Not dessert first, man.
When I was a kid, log cake is a privilege. You don't think so, right? We are different sets.
Welcome back to another special episode of Wise and Shine. Well, I think this is the most special episode
Very
we've had
special.
all year.
The special.
Yeah, the special.
Of the year.
Yeah.
Of the whole show.
The whole show,
Yeah.
It's a key milestone, man. So I'm Dawn, your host, Budget Babe, and I have Alex.
Hi, this is Alex. You can find me, Alex Loh, Growth Mindset Coach.
And we have two guests on the show with us today because they really want a part of this.
I flew back in for this.
Wow.
So I'm your retired host.
Reggie, aka Santa Claus for
Reggie,
today.
aka Santa Claus. I brought a lot of gifts for everyone. Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm University in City and then a financial coach. Actually, I hold my flight for this year.
Hey!
Oh, very nice.
That's why it's the special, yes. Okay, so what do we have today?
Today we're at Hilton, right? Hilton Singapore at their lunch special for Christmas, right? So as you can tell, the log cake is mine. Okay, this one I taking back, right? But to introduce you to the whole spread and the concept, the idea, I think it's better we get the chef in, right? So shall we give a round of applause to the chef? Oh, we have drinks first, Oh,
Welcome drinks.
Thank you.
nice. Is this the brewed wine?
Wow.
Nice. Have you all had this?
This is a malt
It's
wine,
a very
right?
European thing, right? They cook it,
You cooked the
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. It smells so Christmassy.
Yeah, it is. But I cannot drink too much Asian flush.
Oh, yeah.
I
Me
look
too.
very ugly later. I cannot. But yes. Chef.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hilton Singapore Orchard.
Thank you.
Join us with the Festive Express this year. So we've got this year's Epicurean journey. It goes around all our 5 outlets. So that's why we call it a Festive Express. So the outlets are, we have got Restaurants Estate, we have got Ginger Lily, we've got Chatterbox, we've got Osteria Mozza, and we've got Hampton. So it's about a journey that you will go through this year with us during this festive season. So some of the offerings are here, and I'm sure you're going to try that. And I'm going to bring some surprise very soon for you.
So you want us to spend 5 days at Hilton?
Well, you can spend the whole month.
Give him log cake, he will be here every day.
Okay, I'll be
I've
here.
got more, by the way.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'll be bringing the signature dishes for you to try.
Awesome.
To start with, we've got a venison dish, which is crusted with macadamia nuts.
Wow.
I feel like a lifestyle influencer now. Yeah.
There we go.
Wow, the nuts.
It's served with dark chocolate sauce, which I'm
Dark
not sure
chocolate?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
This is totally my thing, man.
Yeah. You have elevator.
So I'm going to give you a bit of story about this
Yes, please.
venison. Venison is classified as a festive meat. It's a game meat, and it's not very usual. So at Estate, we try to do something which is different. And we are very well known in Singapore market for our buffet offerings, and this is where Estate becomes different. We serve like an a la carte quality dish for our buffet guests. And here it is, our signature dish of this year is venison with macadamia crust and dark chocolate sauce. Okay, please enjoy
Thank you.
while I prepare the next dish.
Thank you.
But before begin, we cheers first lah. Cheers.
Festive season.
Merry Christmas.
Cheers to all of you back home. Awesome, awesome.
Who are not here enjoying this, but you can come to Hilton.
We want to eat first lah. Try sikit lah.
Okay,
Okay, we
eat
try
ah.
one bite
We eat ah.
first. Yeah.
One
Okay.
bite ah.
Okay, one bite.
Ooh, nice and tender and juicy.
Anyway, yes, today I'm the Santa Claus, right? Why you look at me like that? You wondering what I'm going to give
No,
you?
we
is
don't
it?
wear Santa Claus.
You're
wear
not
black.
dressed in red.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to be Santa Claus?
No,
You
no.
introduce?
I know gifts.
You
I know
introduce?
gifts.
Yes. Anyway, okay, today is a special episode and I have decided to bring out this card game, that we designed it earlier this year. To test out lah, to see how it goes. The general idea is this is what we call TFC Conversations. The goal is to recreate the podcast at your home, right?
Wow.
So we create some of these questions so that you and your friends can come together and chit chat about it, right? Because if not, you every time talk about movie, travel, very sian. At least that's my point of view.
So mix for deep, meaningful conversation.
Yes, makes for deep, meaningful conversation.
Christmas.
Yes, this Christmas, okay? So other than coming to Hilton, you can play this game. Put in the comment section, okay? If you love what we are doing, then we'll consider.
Everyone should gift a set to their friend for Christmas.
Okay, great. Not in production yet. But if you love the game, then we will explore creating it for you. Okay, essentially there are 6 different categories. There's the big ticket purchases. There is personal growth. There is adventures or retirement. Once you retire, you can have a lot of adventure.
Don't need to retire to have adventure.
And you can craft a fulfilling career, right? And the last 2 category is opportunities in everyday risk in attractive opportunities. Essentially opportunities and risk. Okay, and a life you love with your financial well. Okay, so not bad lah, right? So it's our first time testing this out. Essentially, it's very simple. We go one round, everybody gets to pick one card, and then everyone chimes in.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a simple card game. So I cannot just bring cards if I'm the Santa Claus
Of
today,
course.
right? So I have decided to take out some of the board games that CEO gave us, right? So he gave us 5 board games. I think this is the cryptocurrency one. There's one Debzilla. Right, I think they are voted as the number 1 financial board game creators.
Oh,
right?
nice.
And a few others, right? There is Dirty Money. There is Wonga Mania, right? So across the board, right? So there are 5 board games in total. CEO gave us the other time, and I want to give it to you all, right? So as we
You
go,
are so we.
not you.
Hey.
You get to eat already. It's for our audience
Oh.
at home, right? As you join us in today's podcast, we will talk about our thoughts and ideas, based on this game, right? So you get to vote for your favorite, whatever the one that is highest voted. You put in the comment section. The comment that are the highest voted will pick one winner from those people.
Oh, it's not the highest voted host gets to win.
I'll give you something else next time, okay? So it's for you, our audience, at home. You listen, you think who has the most interesting idea, you type it in the comment section. The one that gets the most will pick a winner, and you can potentially bring one of these top board games back home to play with your family as the year comes to an end.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
great.
like this whole festive, getting family together through board games and also these questions.
What do we need to do? So we each pick one from each category.
Here today, we make everybody pick one from a separate category. Okay, and then we can have a little chat around it. Essentially, it's TFC condensed, right?
Wow.
So our many episodes, over hundreds of episodes, they are all here.
Okay, ladies first.
Mm.
Ladies first.
I will pick a life you love with your financials well.
Oh,
Wow.
why you want this category?
This is something that I personally believe in my brand.
Oh,
I open it up.
okay, open.
And the question is, share a specific financial goal you're currently working towards. What steps are you taking?
Okay, I know.
You go first.
I go first. Okay, so very simple. I think at a personal level, I don't particularly have any serious financial goals anymore. Right, I've achieved quite a good bunch of them. Maybe the next one is getting a house lah. right? But it's not front and center in my psyche, right? What I personally want is for TFC to run on its own. Then I can go holiday.
That one not financial goal.
It's a financial goal.
It is?
I must
not
have
like a
revenue.
career
Then can
goal.
hire enough people. Then, it runs, right? So that is a financial goal. I've set a business financial goal for me, right? And I'm very happy that we can even do this, right? So it clearly means that the team has grown. So thank you all for supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you stop seeing me, that means I achieved this goal already. Okay, but yeah, that's my financial goal.
Who's next?
Let me try this out, right? I have 3 kids. One of them
my.
is turning 4 months
It's
tomorrow.
amazing that you have 3 kids and
Thank
the
you.
last kid is like 4 months old. You know?
At this age, at
Like at the
45.
I cannot see you answering the retirement question.
But, with 3 kids, that financial goal or that financial, that idea of whether it's retirement or financial goal has actually been pushed back quite a lot lah. Because with the 3rd kid, we were not expecting to have 3 kids. So with the 3rd kid, we've had to rehash a lot of things. And to be honest with you, I think we are still working things out and figuring it out. So I actually don't really have an answer to that specific goal or target that we want to be working towards lah.
How did you and your partner come to a consensus on this? I can imagine it must be crazy.
You mean
Shifting your financial goal as a result of this last kid.
So we had plans already, moving into our own place. Currently, I live with my in-laws. So with living with in-laws and we've got our own property that is collecting rent, right, at the moment for the past 10 years. So we wanted to move into a place of our own. So we had to stop that plan. That means having to continue staying with the in-laws and continue not having the sort of freedom that we always wanted to have. So from a mental, emotional point of view, it was quite we cried, really we cried.
Staying with your in-law is so difficult. Huh?
Oh.
Not with the
Like
in-law
macam
part
need to
lah.
cry all.
The fact that we had to actually shift the goalposts and shift plans 5 years. And we were all looking forward to going holiday, Japan, snowboarding with the 2 kids. And then now with a baby in tow, we pushed that back by another 5 years. So all of these life plans that we had as a family, of course, before that, it was couple plans and individual plans. But yeah, we really had to push all of that back. And so recalculating, I don't have a number to that yet. But yes, it is not easy. It is not easy. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, but thank you for having or asking this question. I think it's an important question to have answered.
So how? Santa Claus?
Or maybe I can start first.
Okay, tell us. Yes. He saved you.
Because I think there's certain aspect that actually Alex, he highlighted, like staying with in-laws. Because I used to stay with my in-laws first.
This is not an episode to attack in-laws, huh? Okay? In-laws are amazing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the kind of like everyone needs their personal space at
Exactly.
times. When everyone is squeezing into, no matter how big the house is, right? Every day you face like, 10 people in the house. I think it's still in a way quite challenging to balance every needs and wants of everyone, which is very difficult. I want the place to be quieter, but then you have someone who will be singing, that kind of thing. It's within the same house, but then I can understand the challenges. So when we finally get to like move out, right, I was like, wow, it's total peace. Yeah. So,
Celebration.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong because I think everyone have their the things that they like, right, to do in their house. Yeah. So I think that I didn't feel it so much because I was like staying with them for quite a while. It's like about 5-6 years. Because I was because of our young kids, right? We need them to take care of them, and then we don't want them to like travel to and fro, that kind of thing. So I think I find that challenging. So as for the financial goals, right? Initially, we were thinking like if we stay at our current place during then, right? We will kind of like so-called like people say retire early, that kind of thing. But then we never thought of the idea of retiring early. So we kind of like set up our CPF, we have certain portfolio, that kind of thing. So if we continue to stay at our current place, probably we can kind of like do any career we want. But then we were thinking, wow, we were so young then. I was like, I'm 40 and then my wife is 37. We still got such a long way to go. Then retirement was never on my mind. I always thought of like working, but then working on something that we closer to our heart, something that is more in line with our passion. Yeah, correct. But then we realized like, hey, I think we still got some long way to go. So we decided to eventually shift to the new place. And then now the main concern probably on a financial perspective is probably our child's education. Yeah, because we were like exploring a few countries like Australia, UK, Europe, all these places.
How did child's education?
Why Singapore education system
Yeah.
not good?
No. Because the thing is, my wife went overseas to study before.
Oh, so you're saying university?
She studied in Japan before, so you can see like her views is more diverse. The way that she looks at life is a lot more different than for me who stay here all my life. My perspective is a bit narrow. Yeah, so I want my kids to have the opportunity to do that. Not in the sense to get a better degree or better certification, but it's more for the overseas experience, how you interact with other people, that kind of thing.
So what's the price point today? You probably calculated it, right? What's the price
Easily,
point?
I think one kid is like 300,000-400,000, I guess.
No, but I get where you're coming from as well, because I was educated in NUS, Singapore. My wife did her first degree in NUS, but she did her master's in the UK. So she said that if we have an opportunity, why don't we try and send our kids overseas?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter whether it's Australia, the US, the UK, or anywhere else for that matter, right? I say, walao, then like that, how? So there are insurance policies or options, right? Endowment or whatever that we can take up. So we took them up for each kid. And with that, then at least we know that, okay, the minimum we need to get like 300-400K. I think that's only Australia, right? It's not even the US. US, you need at least like 700-800K. Yeah, so that's like 20 years later, no? Yeah, so it's not.
That's why you're not retiring. But what steps are you taking for 300,000 university education?
We are kind of like started investing. So as long as our portfolio is still growing and we are still paying for our expenses using our whatever we earn, and then we can still put some away into the portfolio and it still continue to grow. I think it shouldn't be a problem, basically. We still got another, I think, 8 years to go. Something like that. Yeah.
Nice. And you?
Okay, my specific financial goal. This year, I actually hit 5 digits in passive income through dividends. I want to grow that to 6 digits.
Okay.
I
in
think
how
if
long?
I can, don't know. Must calculate first.
calculate,
Yeah,
okay.
but I do. The next goal is to grow to 6 because I think when we hit there, then we will have a comfortable enough base to work with. And then when you add in your CPF and everything else, should be quite okay for retirement. So my kids won't see me as a financial burden, right? So that's a very specific financial goal. And in order to get there, one of the milestones that we're aiming for is to have our combined investment portfolio as a couple hit 2 to 3 mil. And then from there, you'll be able to allocate better. Yeah, so we're on the way. I hope we will reach that soon. Maybe say 5 years.
Yeah. Can you expand a little bit, like when you do an investment portfolio with your husband, right? Like, how does that work?
Who manages? Yeah.
Yeah, the juicy part, right? Juicy part.
Me,
Yeah,
it's all me lah.
And he's perfectly okay with it. Nick is cool with it.
So I employ different strategies depending on how we plan out the portfolio. Of course, I'm more aggressive with my own. But with some of the things, like I touch safer investments with some of his funds. Yeah, because he can be very, like very aggressive one. I just tell him not even 15 minutes, maybe like a 1 minute thesis. He's like, here, all in. It's a bit too much. So I will actually reject it. And then I was like, I'll have to try and allocate. Yeah, so it's not easy. I've learned from many other couples who have done the same before me. And some of them, what they do is that they really split the portfolio cleanly, right? Each person has their own, but they discuss the strategies together. But I think that works when both the men and the women, or both partners, are equally savvy. But if you have one who is less savvy and one who is a bit more, then it just makes more sense to have one person managing everything. So I manage the investment side and he manages the property side.
Okay.
I think that's a good balance.
Fair? Okay, great. Come, pick.
Hey, my turn.
Yeah, your turn.
Okay, thank you. What's this?
Personal growth.
Wow.
Oh yeah, hey, before you continue, please don't forget to vote for your favorite comment. If you want to win one of the board games, it's very fun. It's voted as one of the best financial board games out there, not the boring ones. So yes. Come.
I will start personal growth. So reflect on a piece of advice that initially seemed counterintuitive, but later became a guiding principle in your personal development. How did it challenge your thinking? I've shared this story before, and this was my time as a hotelier. So when I was running a hotel as a general manager, one of the things that the group CEO needed me to do was to close down a department.
Oh.
The catering department, more specifically. So we had about maybe 15, almost 20 staff
So
in
you
that
got to
department.
fire a whole department.
I had to fire a whole department. His advice to me was to be a leader, you need to not be emotional and just do what you need to do. But I'm quite an empathetic guy. So that was a counterintuitive kind of advice for me. I didn't follow his advice. So I did it as humanely as I could. I contacted everyone in my network to try and find them a relocation role. So 60-70% managed to find new employment with my network. Unfortunately, the others couldn't lah. But my learning, right, from that, my personal growth was sometimes people might advise you, or someone senior or more experienced might advise you to do a certain thing, but follow your gut, right? And you do what fits you. And with that, you experience that growth, you experience that learning. So this is something for me in terms of personal growth.
Firing is very difficult.
It was a great learning experience for me.
Ideology is always blissful. Okay, thank you.
You're
thank you.
welcome.
I want to go, Nick.
Okay, go.
Wow, when you were reading out this question, I struggled, Initially seemed counterintuitive, but later became a guiding principle. And I thought of many stuff. But I think the one that I want to share is about time. When I was younger, someone told me be fiercely protective of your time. Your time is your most valuable resource. And in my 20s, I could not understand that. I was like, I have a lot of free time, right? Save money.
Now your
go and take
calendar
public
very full, no
transport.
time for
Yes,
anything.
oh my gosh, yeah. So I've really learned to draw my boundaries. I think in the past, right, I really rejected that piece of advice because I thought whatever free time I had, and I had a lot of that, I should be spending that, monetizing it, going work or doing things that I love, really make full use of it. And I didn't give myself any breaks. That became pretty bad this year. Because in January, as some of y'all might remember, I had a very bad spate of migraine that left me unable to work for almost 2 whole weeks. I couldn't even read an article. It was that bad. And I realized, I've been maximizing out all of my time, that I have just been too generous with it, with everyone. So I learned to draw better boundaries and to protect my time more selfishly so that I could allow myself, downtime to recover, to rest, and basically be in balance. Yeah.
Thanks for still being generous with us.
Got food.
But it's true, right? When we were young, we have a lot of time, nothing to do. You do not realize the scarcity of time.
Yes.
Right? But it's the same with money, right? When you first start, you don't have a lot of money. It's very hard to care about it. You know what I mean? There is some parameters that you have to have before you start to care about it. When you have a lack of time, you will care about time. When you have a lot of money sitting around, you will think of what to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. So there are some baseline situations that everybody just has to get to. And sometimes that context is lost, right? When the advice comes from someone that's 20 years ahead, right? And then they are in a total different phase of life, and then they tell you that it's like, okay, fair.
Not relevant to me.
But
So,
yeah.
some things we only learn with age.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you.
So that's
Thank you.
Okay.
到你了。
到我了. Reflect a piece of advice that initially seemed okay. There is one piece of advice that came from Chun Ting. I will name drop her lah. So the CEO of Money Hour. And when I met her about a year plus ago, I asked her for some leadership advice. And she said that at some point, your team will be so big that you don't know everybody. Everybody will kind of know you, but you don't know everybody. And what you need to do is to act how you want them to act, right? So your performance becomes the basis of how everybody will copy along.
Right.
Right. So it's no longer just about what you do. It's about how you are seen as what you do. You can hide it behind closed door, work until no tomorrow, at night. Because most founders do that, right? Work very, very hard, but behind closed doors. But if your team doesn't see it, they do not emulate it. At that point in time, I was like, huh? Like that only? because back then my team 5 of us.
But now got problem, right?
Now
Too big.
got problem. Too big. Not say too big. But I've reached a point that I don't personally know everybody. Maybe I just meet them 30 minutes every week. And not even one-to-one group meeting. So suddenly what I say becomes more important than, how I think and how I do behind closed doors. I start to see my guys copying what I say, Like word for word, exact how I handle the problem, what I say, sorry, just to clarify, I'm not blaming you, exactly these few lines I float around in the company, and I was like, okay, this is very interesting. So I think for a lot of aspiring leaders, right, as you get to some point in your life, in your career, in your personal development, how you are seen becomes increasingly important.
Does that mean that you have to overact or over communicate?
It does mean that at some point I'm performing, right? It's like when you're making a speech, you're performing, right? When you do a team meeting, you're performing. And there's no problem in that.
That doesn't mean you're not being authentic.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I'm not being authentic. I may amp up certain parts, like now lah, right? Like I'm on a podcast, I'm performing. So there's some performance element to it, and I think it's okay. Everybody needs some sort of, reinforcement of ideas, and performing is fine. So that's my word of advice, Ash. Okay, you see, cannot copy already there, right? We say a lot of things already.
So in my 20s, it's like I got the hustle kind of mindset lah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a bit chiong lah, everything chiong.
Chiong.
Like even like in terms of sports, I also like go Ironman, triathlon, everything chiong. Climb mountain chiong, do business also chiong. That kind of thing.
I know.
Yeah, so you tend to chiong, right? Then people see you, right? Then they'll say, oh yeah, why is this person always chionging?
This is a youngster.
A lot of people approach me to start up business. I mean, there are a lot of people, but then because they see me as hardworking, responsible, all this stuff, right? So, but in actual fact, I was just kind of like, I'm just trying out all the things. Yeah. So when I was trying out all this thing, right, people will see me like, oh yeah, wow, this guy very hardworking, will stay with us for very long and can push us further, push over the limits, that kind of thing. But in the first place, I didn't. So all this is on hindsight. So it's like, now I look back, right? Why I was so chiong during then? So, okay, it's actually based on circumstances, right? Environment, right? How you grew up. So during then, it's like, my dad was a gambler, that kind of thing. So it's like, there's always a lack of money. So that's why I was wondering, why do I work so hard? Because I want like some financial safety net, some financial comfort that I need to experience in my life. That's why I worked so hard towards it. Maybe we didn't really wanted to work that hard in the beginning. It was because of the circumstances that forces us up towards that direction. But then I worked on a few businesses, and then the biggest business failed just before I turned 30. So, and in a way, I was like, I owe money to the banks, all this stuff.
Dave, can you share what was the failed business that you were in?
Initially, it was some van delivery services. So we bought some van, that kind of thing. And then the second one was like a laundry business. So it's like a laundromat. And the third one
you
is
had a laundromat?
Yeah, I did a lot of things.
Time before?
All at the same time or one after the other?
Different times. So, but then the biggest one is the franchise business. So it's like the SPH bus kiosk. It's a franchise. It's like 7-Eleven. But then it's a SPH concept of 7-Eleven.
How long did that last, Dave?
Actually, I was still having a full-time job during then. That was for at least 3-4 years, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-4 years.
Wow.
So actually, we grew from like 1 branch and 2 branch. I think at the top, we will have like 7 or 8 branches. So I got 2 other partners. So I'm that so-called the smallest partner, the one that don't have money one.
So
that
you're
kind
the master franchise of SPH bus.
we wanted to be that. So at the time, we are below 30. So we in a way, we feel like on top of the world. Wow, we can do everything really good.
Yeah.
But then we didn't know about this thing. It's like as the team grow, everything. Then you got to manage more people, that kind of thing. Then there's a lot of things that is mismanaged. I didn't know that the moral stand of me is so strong. But then another partner tell me something that is being done. Unethically. So in my sense, it might not be illegal, but then unethically in my sense. But then so I felt like, I got to move out of this. I didn't know why I got so much courage to say like, I need to move out of this. Because I didn't know that my moral value is a very big strength of mine. So after that, many years later, I did a Gallup strength kind of thing, right? I realized like, responsibility, moral value is like my top 5 strengths. So I didn't know that. Now I'm like starting a blog, Minimalist City, ask people to kind of like tune down a bit. It's like so contradicting. I didn't know. But then I enjoy this part of it. I didn't know I enjoy so much of it. So when I think Don was saying about having time for yourself, so I would akin that to like running a marathon. You want to be able to last throughout. You need to break the marathon 42 kilometers. You need to break into 1 kilometer. So you break up the whole task into 1 kilometer, right? It's easier to achieve your overall bigger goal. But then at the same time, that 1 kilometer, you must make sure you got enough hydration. You need to make sure you are well. You don't faint along the way. So to keep that balance, right, I think it's very important. So that's where I think I learned a lot about myself by doing sports and then businesses, basically. Yeah.
Fair. Interesting.
Nice.
Oh, we have the next dish.
Next dish, yay, about time.
Chef, join us.
All right, I'm back. Here we go.
Chef.
The Wagyu beef chick.
Wow.
Very luxe.
Wow.
Very luxe.
Now, there's a very special way of preparing this dish. We sous vide overnight.
Wow. Is that your signature chocolate sauce again?
No, it's not the chocolate sauce. It's the natural jus, by the way. So how did you like the chocolate sauce, by the way?
Nice, I like
So
it.
it's a very classic
earthy.
way of having
Yeah.
venison. So here it comes, the giant river prawn laksa. And this is no chili.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
so just for our audience clarity, right? When they come for, makan here, will it be like that also? Will they be served individual a la carte?
Estate is well known for this in the market now. Like I said, we take a lot of pride in serving these curated signature dishes. And that is what has been going on, and that makes us different to the others.
Nice.
So we've got the typical buffet, and also there is curated signature dishes that is also served to
Right,
our
right.
guests.
Nice.
Okay.
Thank
well,
you.
so here it is, the Wagyu beef cheek and the giant river prawn laksa.
Thank you.
Thank
Enjoy.
you. Okay.
All
cool.
right.
Oh my, so soft.
Mm.
As the entrepreneur in the team. Hey, actually, I'm not the only entrepreneur. You're also very entrepreneur.
I also entrepreneur.
Yeah, fair.
Everybody.
fair. We're all risk takers, So I have decided to pick opportunities and risk. Okay. So here's the question, Reflect on a missed opportunity that, in hindsight, you're grateful for missing it.
Wow.
How did you redirect your path? Yeah. So anybody want to take a jab at it? Missed opportunity in hindsight you're grateful for.
I think honestly, for most married couples, the missed opportunity would be our exes, right? Because that's what I think about. I mean, in every relationship, I have taken it quite seriously. But the fact that it didn't work out, and it's always upsetting when it ends, but it has to end in order for something better and the right person to come along. Yeah. So when I think back about all the heartbroken moments as missed opportunities or what could have been, actually I'm very thankful that they did not turn out right. So how do you redirect my path? It brought me to where I am today.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think honestly, it played a very big role because I can't envision in any of my past relationships having the freedom and the support to do budget babe. Yeah, and I've always wanted to be an author, right? I've said this multiple times.
You write how long already? When is it coming out? When is your book coming?
Next year.
Okay,
coming out.
coming.
So I have
Yeah.
a book coming out next year, and I don't think I would have been able to achieve it with anyone else other than my husband because he has been incredibly supportive.
Well done.
Yeah, and he supports me because honestly, I was always very hesitant, right? Like I was like, should I write? Should I do this? But coming at a point in my life where I'm overwhelmed. But he's always like, just go for it. It's your dream. If you don't do it, then when? So he pushes me, and that Budget Babe would not be around if those missed opportunities were not missed.
Nice. Woo!
Well done. Thank you for
Shout out to
sharing.
my husband, Nick.
Awesome.
Okay, who's next?
Okay, missed opportunity. Okay, so I think before TFC, some of you probably heard this story. I was doing a mental health startup, right? Which I'm very bad for mental health. but I think that was a good missed opportunity because if I continue to sink into it, right, I cannot imagine the repercussions. Because as I go along there, I start to realize that my co-founder is not the right person to work with. So in that sense, it was a great opportunity because mental health was on the rise, it's a thing. Then just a few, short months later, COVID happened, right? So imagine if COVID happened just a little bit earlier, we would have rode the whole trend. And I have some friends who were in the industry that essentially rode the COVID wave. We were all struggling at Block 71 for a long time, right? And then suddenly COVID, and I see, why all of you suddenly managed to raise funds? Right, so that was like a trend in some ways and a missed opportunity. But when I look at it, better not. I don't want to go further into like this person. But I think we just don't match. Different point of view, different energy. So glad to be doing what I'm doing now. That's why I can Hilton with all of you. Right, makan,
That's why we have this
chit-chat,
meal.
right? Enjoy, right? So yeah, without that, wouldn't have this. Okay. So in some ways, you must thank my ex-founder.
Yeah, so reflect on a missed opportunity. Maybe I put in another context. It's like during when just now I thought about the business, right? I started it was during 2008 financial crisis.
Oh.
Actually, it was the best time to start a business because rental, you can negotiate better rates, all this stuff, right? At the same time, like many years later, the thing didn't work out, right? So I fought out with my partners. One of the partner I can still talk with after 10 years. Yeah. So I kind of like, I try to like reconcile with him, that kind of thing. But the other partner is like, I've never been like communicating with him for the longest time. But then on hindsight, it's like, okay, I mean, everything happens for a reason, right? You might think that, I mean, during them, my COE at OUE, right, is $2 during those days.
Oh, yeah,
So I kind of like got it around that range. So like people who want to buy a car during that, wow, I missed that opportunity. You know, that kind of thing. It's always the same. It's like sometimes we think of like opportunity, but then at the same time, it might be not your opportunity. You might see it as an opportunity. It might not be your best opportunity of your life. But at the same time, I find that that is the best opportunity. I can learn a lot from that business setup. Yeah. If not, anything older than that, right? If I'm in my 30s, right? Probably I won't do anything anymore. Like now, right? Probably I won't start anything.
Yeah. Because now you're minimalist in the city, man.
Yeah.
You don't want to start anything. It's just minimal.
But that is also because of that experience, right? Then it started so much more things along the way.
But just to echo on that, right? Because in retrospect, it always looks clear.
Oh, it looks clear.
But at that point in time, I think for a lot of people,
you curse and swear.
And I think it's okay to go through that path.
Yeah.
Right? As long as, you oversink it in the sense that, okay, you definitely got to sink your time, your commitment to it, right? But when the thing doesn't work out, don't blame yourself too much. Just move on. But yeah, it's kind of, you've seen the most. You've been in different places, do different things.
I have, right? So, okay, you all know at the table, but viewers don't know that I closed down a well-being tech business in June this year. So I ran it for 3 years and we closed it because we didn't manage to hit that next investment round that we wanted to hit. And of course, there were certain targets that we set in the 3 years that we didn't also manage to meet. So it was a very, very painful decision for me to close. And that to me was that missed opportunity. But like what Reggie said, if that didn't happen, Reggie wouldn't have knocked on my door and said, hey, bro, are you free to come and co-host with us on Wise and Shine? So
because that formed an identity.
Exactly.
That formed your position.
Yeah, yes. I would not have had time and space to do that. And now I'm managing 5 different projects at the same time. TFC is one of them, Wise and Shine. So I'm very happy. I think I'm rediscovering the joys of being on my own. Not having a team to run now yet, right? But also being on my own, I think that is something I really forgot that it was nice to have.
Okay,
Thank you.
Great,
yeah.
Thank you. Your turn, last one.
Oh, last one. Wow.
Career, retirement, big ticket purchase, you pick one.
Retirement?
Okay. Anyway, it looks very nice one, just for everybody to see. Yes.
The adventures of retirement, I love it. Share a moment when you had to recalibrate your retirement expectations. Initially, when I started out, the idea of like minimalist in the city is like kind of like to reach a certain stage to reach a certain level of financial independence, but together with kids, so that we can kind of like spend more time with them, that kind of thing. And then eventually the thought was very vague. So I wrote an email to my wife, right, detailing like how...
Why do you write email to your wife?
No, because I want to tell her like, because of my business failure, right? In a sense, I kind of owe her because she stayed with me throughout that time. Those was my worst time. And then she kind of like, we eventually got married and then we have kids. Before I got married, I actually wrote her an email on the night before our wedding or something like that. Yeah, I still kept that email. So that email was like, it was like more than 10 years ago. So it's like detailing like, what housing we want to stay, how many kids we want to have, what kind of financial standing we want to have. Before we can kind of like, I won't detail like setting up a few businesses during then. So we have some form of like passive income in certain ways so that we can run our life and then can retire in a way in our 40s. But then now like 10 years later, right? Yeah, I never thought of retirement anymore, frankly speaking.
Nice.
I never thought of retirement. No. I want to carry on whatever I'm doing right now as long as possible. Something that is in line with my values, passion or whatever. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. How you got nothing to say?
I got
retirement.
My wife and I dated for 10 years and then we've been married 9 years. So almost 20 years. So she's been...
Dated 1 year, then married already.
No, we dated 10 years. And
wow.
Oh,
we've been married 9 years.
10 plus 9.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So she has also followed me all through this, being very supportive. You talked about your husband being supportive. So she's been very supportive of what I do as well. So same lah. I don't intend to retire, right? I think I'll carry on doing whatever I'm doing because it's what I enjoy doing. I can't see myself not doing what I'm doing. Of course, I might be doing it to a lesser intensity. or I might even be spreading it through to a lot of more other risks. But I will still be doing something, right? And I would want to still be involved in my children's lives. If I can also be able to envision my grandchildren even, right? All three of them. So the current stats for mortality is we'll live to 80 plus 90, maybe even 100. So we are not even halfway through our life, right? So you're right to say that we've got a long way to go. Yeah. So
even if we are at the halfway mark, right, you still feel like another 40 years to go.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. So it's about being healthy and being able to have that longevity in whatever we're doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's my retirement.
Yeah, the last one. Actually, a lot of my way of life has been recalibrated because of TFC. Without TFC, I would just be traveling, having fun. I'm already investing in the market. I'll just be doing what I do, continue, compound, take time, read more things, travel, meet friends. But thanks to all of you for tuning in, right, every week and supporting us, and our partners for supporting us. It made this a thing, but it also messed up my life. Right now, I got to fly in every month. I got to do all these different things. And it is recalibrating my retirement expectations. Right, what am I looking for? What am I aiming for? Can be different. And I think the insight here, right, is that as you develop in your life, sometimes these plans shift, right? Because you cannot plan for a 30, 40-year plan and stick by it 100%. Right. So as it develops, as it shifts, as it evolves, I think it's just about reconciling, right? And coming to it and finding the ease and peace, right? Because when there's that dissonance, then your life gets very messy, But once you accept that, okay lah, this is what it is. I got to fly back every month. Once I can accept it, I can embrace it, and then it just changes the whole thing, right? So yeah, life has changed. Thank you all. I think ultimately your life evolves and changes. Don't hate on yourself. So you get the last word.
Okay. I think for me, lawyer readers will probably remember when I came out on the blog, I said I wanted to retire at 45. And
Is it true?
I haven't reached.
Okay.
But anyway, so I actually wrote on my blog that I wanted to retire at 45. And like you guys, I think my definition of retirement has changed.
Yeah.
And today there's so many different variations of fire, right? There's coast fire, barista fire. So many of you are also very confused already.
On fire.
What I've realized is I really enjoy the work that I do. And in the past, my definition of retired means no more work, done.
Yeah.
Take all the money, go and travel, enjoy life, do whatever I want, write my book. But now I'm writing my book before I retire. Now I am traveling quite a bit already, more so than I did in my 20s. And I realized that we don't have to wait until that retirement age before we live the life that we want. So that's my recalibration of retirement. I think today also retirement to me is all about like when I have more time freed up and I don't have to be stuck to a job or to something because of money. I have more say because money now longer becomes the limiting factor or the decision-making factor. What will I do with my time? And that's something that I'm still trying to figure out.
Thank you for listening to everybody's story. I just want to repeat, the Santa Claus here today wants to repeat that if you want to win the board game, if you want to win the board game, once again voted as the best financial board game, put in the comment section your favorite story, your favorite insight for today, and then we will pick our favorite lah. And before y'all wrap, right, I also got extra gift. Personally, right, I get for you. Your favorite chocolate.
Yay!
Yeah, I remember you said it before at an event.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so everyone gets one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Wow, thank you so much.
I'll also get one for myself. I hope everybody gets a great Christmas. And thank you for doing what you do with TFC.
Thank you, everyone. We've come to another episode of the Wise and Shine. Thank you, Reggie, as well as Dave, for joining us today. And of course, the sponsors, Hilton, Singapore Orchard, and Estate Restaurant.
So we hope you've enjoyed these conversations with us today. But remember, this festive season, do spend time with your loved ones having great conversations like we had and great food such as the spread that we had here. Bring your loved ones down. And we hope that you have enjoyed this whole year journeying with us on Wise and Shine. It's been our pleasure. And we look forward to bringing you guys more meaningful conversations in 2025. Let us know what you'd like to see. And remember to vote in the comments below so we can give out these amazing board games. Till then, have a happy New Year and Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye.